right, guys, we got a Toyota Venza. I don't know how to pronounce it. Smart key, as you can see. And this is a strange one, boys. This car will not start. It'll just crank. No start unless you put the jumper on it. So I'm gonna start. Lo voy a intentar aprender, ¿oíste? You see that? Well, it started. Ahí está el booster. Right now we got the booster on it, so it actually started. If we take out the booster, it's actually running. Quita el booster. We're gonna take out the booster. And now I'm gonna try to start it. And now you see, crank, no start. So let's see what's good on here, guys. So here it is. So with this booster connect, I'm about to move it. With the booster connected, it'll start. I take off this booster and we get a crank. Now, this has been changed, but as you can see, we're just on to the terminals. So we're not doing anything really special. So why is it that adding more voltage to these cables will allow the car to start and without it cranks? It's kind of strange, right? I'm kind of leaning to a ground, dirty grounds. So we pull off the battery. So we're going to clean these grounds, and also I'm going to start doing some tests as well to make sure that we're getting full current to fuse box and all of that, and there's not some kind of a drop, which is very strange. So I guess there's not enough amperage going unless you put the booster because of some kind of corrosion or something like that. A strange one, boys. Looks like they might have tried to touch it up already, but we're still gonna go over it. Pull off the air cleaner box, and we're gonna also hit that ground right there on the transmission. So we're cleaning it. It just came to my mind, I remember a Mercedes, similar symptom. I was picking up some oil at AutoZone, and there was a lady out there with her Mercedes. It wouldn't start, but when they put the booster on it, it started. And so she thought it was her battery. So she bought a brand new battery, and the exact same symptoms. Once they put the brand new battery, the car would not start, nothing, it was dead. They connected the booster and it would start up after like 2 or 3 tries. Come to find out, I did a scan on that vehicle, and it was actually the steering lock module on the Mercedes. That I've got a lot of videos on that. And what ended up happening, it just probably wasn't getting enough amperage normally through the battery to send that extra voltage to the steering lock module that was pretty much dead, but that extra boost with the booster kind of gave that motor some extra fire, and that's what made it start. So could be something similar going on with this. This is a smart key system, and they also have a steering lock module. I've got an extensive video on the Toyota troubleshooting steering lock modules, B2288 I believe it is. So definitely check that out if you've got any kind of Toyota issues like that. We went and hit them with some of our ultra red dielectric grease on all the connections. So now we're putting everything back together. Cleaning the terminals. I did a review on this from Walmart. It's pretty handy, guys. 15 bucks. Doesn't really have any power to cut, but for stuff like this, man, it's actually kind of convenient and worth it. USB charging. Y la batería también. Why not, since we're right here, man? Get these too. Time for the test. Next step, if this doesn't work, is try it. Scan for codes. See for a security light. Let me do a key on first. I heard the steering lock actually unlock. There's a steering logo there. Let's try to start it. Same thing, just crank. Pon el booster. We're gonna put the booster in, let's see. Okay, we got the booster on. See if that same light is on. And it is the check engine light. I don't remember that being on without the booster. Quita el booster por un segundo. Quita el booster un segundo. Ponlo por atrás. Ahí está puesto. Okay, let's start it. Let me turn it off and on. No, now it's not starting. See, I just turned it off and on, and now the check engine light is not there. Let me try that again. The check engine light is not coming on. You see that? I think he told me to replace the computer on this car as well. Ahí está prendido el buzzer. Quita el buzzer. Let me see, we got the booster on. Still no check engine light. There's something going on with that computer. We should get a check engine light with the key on. See that check engine light is not coming on over there? That's a big red flag. So let me try to scan this car. And sure enough, guys, as you can see here, the main codes we have are no communication with the engine computer. It's not showing online. Even in the topology view, as you can see, it's offline. So let's see what's going on here. So if you saw that, it looks like we're going to be in that direction. As you can see, we still don't have a check engine light, and I've got no communication again with the computer. So we're going to check powers and grounds to the PCM. There might be some cabling issue. He said he replaced the PCM, I believe, so that might eliminate the actual PCM as the culprit and more with wiring to the PCM. Okay, the booster was weak. I got the car running. I put my other booster on it. As soon as I hit the ignition on, check engine light came on, activated the computer, and the car started. So we're going to check powers and grounds at the PCM, guys. Okay, we're going to test the powers and grounds coming to the PCM. We're going to test it with a high current. The normal test light just takes less than half an amp, and I've made a modified test light that has actually a bulb in it, H3 bulb, I believe, and it pulls 4.5 to 5 amps of current. So if we see any issue right here for the powers and grounds at the PCM, we know that's what's going on. Here it is. That's a bulb in there. No. Ok, ya está abierto. No hay corriente. Dale los arriba. Dale en primero. That one does have loop. That one has power, the first one. So we're gonna double check the diagram. All right, here's the pinout for this V6 ECM. And here are what we're going to concentrate on: the powers, the first 3 cables right there. And you can see where they go into the ECM here on the left. And this is actually the fuses that supply power to them. So it looks like it might be a problem with either the wire harness or the fuse box or something. But these 3 should have power with the ignition on, as you saw from the diagram. The red is the main power. It's red and white, and then that gray and white. But it's for the throttle, and they don't have power right now. Not strong enough to light my heavy test lamp. So that tells me that there's a problem with the wiring or the fuse box. So what we're going to do, I'm going to try to tap into the back of those wires and feed it power directly without the booster, and see if the problem goes away. If the problem goes away, it's confirmed. We're going to use these. We've got these also on our website, guys, globalcommerceca.com, if you need a set. On second thought, I'm going to actually check the power distribution, because those 2 wires, they might be powered on with the PCM relay, which might not be powered on because the PCM is disconnected. And we have it disconnected because we can't reach to it like that, because you got to pull the intake off. So we're going to try to go from the bottom and get it out. Right here, the fuse box. And this is the fuse that powers the ECM to the ignition 1 relay, which is right here. So I pull the relay, there it is right there. And what I'm going to do, I do have power currently because I put the fuse back in. I pulled it a second ago, and as you can see, I got power. So I'm going to bridge this, and that should give me power on the 2 power cables for the ECM. And I'm going to also test this relay with the relay tester, available on our site as well, by the way, guys. Go ahead and dale conecta ahí. So you just connect up to the power and ground like that, and then you put in your relay in question, which is this. It's a 4-pin relay. So it goes here, and we got it on 4-pin, and then we hit test. It's going to test it rapidly 10 times. Within that 10 times, if you get a failure, then you know that relay is no good and you need to swap it out. And you can hit the button again and test it another time, so for 20 tests, which I'm going to do. And it appears that this relay is good. So we're going to still bridge the power and test at the ECM and see if we got power. So putting it in. There it is. I'm just going to verify both sides have power. Okay, now it does. It's a little loose. Let me fix it. Now we're going to test. We should have power at all three main power cables at this ECM. That's the regular test light. And there's no power, only on the first one. Now look on the test light grinding, but the big test light is definitely not going to work. It's not even working on this one. So we got an we got an issue with the wiring, most likely. And the other two have no power. So what we're going to do is jump it from the back, direct power, and see if the car starts. I can. It'll work right now. Found the problem, guys. It'll work right now. I'm going to show you. I can start it right now. Okay. The problem is, from this relay right here, it powers fuse 3 and 2, EFI 2 and 3 right there. Okay. And right now, they're not getting powered from here. So there's an internal break or damage in the wiring from that to these two fuses. Well, really to this one, and it powers that one as well. So we're going to jump these directly, and in fact, if I give it power, right,
jury rig.
And there it is. You see that? Once we hit power at this fuse, we get power over there. So the wiring to the computer is actually good. The problem is internally from this relay to these fuses, it's not getting powered. We're going to check the link from here to these, and then we're probably going to reinforce it, or we got to see what we find, because the customer wants us to disassemble the fuse box. It's paying extra for that instead of replacing it, so we're going to disassemble it, and because he wants to just start this car right now. Aquí está para ahí abajo, under the cover, then you can get to take it apart. Hey, there was damage to this fuse box, guys. This wiring, as you can see, this ground was toasted. Looks like they tried to cover it up, but we're gonna find this, and then we're going to fix the bridge between them. We did a provisional connection between the relay output and the input of the fuse there, and now I turned on the key. We got power on both fuses, and at the PCM we got power on both of the power inputs to the PCM. So we're going to permanently put that on there, and this will be a fix. This was the two cables. This green is the output, and this blue is the input to those fuses down there, EFI 2 and 3. And of course, this is the output from the main ECM relay. Start it, dale. Apaga. No more booster. Key on. Got the check engine light, as you can see over there. Now crank and start. It's a fix, boys. If you didn't know this, now you know. And knowing is half the battle. Click that thumbs up button, like and subscribe. See you on the next one. Okay, the wiring was actually different. Toyota's notorious for this. The diagrams and the colors usually don't match. Anyway, it's the light blue thin wire that is the actual input to those fuses down there for EFI 2 and 3. So we hooked up to the wrong cable. That thicker cable that I put an X is not it. So you want to hook up to the thin one there.